Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call this meeting of Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure to order. Secretary, if you could please call the roll.
Senator Buck. Here. Senator Hansen.
Here.
Senator Donyate.
Here.
Senator Pazina.
Present.
Chair Wynn.
Present, and everyone is present, and we are ready to get started. We have quite a few bills on today. I will ask people to try to be as brief as you can if you are here in support or opposition and someone has eloquently said what you are already thinking, and encourage everyone to please submit any further comments if they don't have the opportunity in writing. I know we will have full opportunity to review that. With that, we are going to go slightly out of order. I'm going to start with Assembly Bill 458. And so if we can call Assembly Member Watts up to the table and begin when you're ready.
Thank you very much, Chair Wynn, members of the committee. For the record, I am Howard Watts. I represent Assembly District 15 in Las Vegas. It is my pleasure to present Assembly Bill 458 in its first reprint for your consideration today. Fundamentally, this bill is about increasing access and opportunity to utilize solar energy. As a homeowner that has rooftop solar, I've seen firsthand the benefits that this can provide, how powerful a tool it can be to help bring down utility bills. But right now, for too many Nevadans, especially those who are renters, especially those who are in affordable housing, they're locked out of being able to access those same benefits. I am joined by Ms. Kirsten Stasio with the Nevada Clean Energy Fund. They have been doing incredible work to help leverage many different pools of funding to help expand access, including recently getting awarded a Solar for All grant of $156 million, the largest per capita grant that any state in the United States received. I've been working closely with NSEF, as they're known, to develop this bill and this program so that it works for them and the work that they're trying to do, but particularly that it works for the community. We've taken feedback from stakeholders that is reflected in the amended version of this bill, including NV Energy, to hone in the program framework and make sure we strengthen consumer protections as well, while also updating the utility's expanded solar access program. And really harness this funding opportunity and make the most of it in order to ensure that every resident in the state has the opportunity to benefit from the abundant solar energy that we have. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Stasio, who can talk a little bit more about NSEF's role and why this policy is so critical to the success of Solar for All and that investment in our state.
Thank you, Assemblyman Watts, and thank you, Chair Wynn and members of the committee. My name is Kirsten Stasio, and I'm CEO of the Nevada Clean Energy Fund, or NSEF, as you heard. NSEF is a nonprofit organization that provides financial and technical resources to accelerate clean energy growth in the state. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you today about AB 458, or what we call the Solar Power Affordable Housing Bill, that unlocks solar for certain low-income households in Nevada, specifically those that live in individually metered multifamily housing, affordable housing. These households, they've historically lacked the same access to solar afforded to other Nevada households, yet these low-income households are the ones that need the benefits of solar the most because they experience high energy cost burdens. Although this bill is only relevant to a limited number of buildings in Nevada, it really has an outsized impact on high-need Nevadans. I want to talk about some of the core reasons why this bill is important. First, it reduces energy cost burdens, which, as many of you know, they're a problem for many Nevadans in pretty much every district. A recent study found that at least 1 in 4 Nevada households experience some form of energy insecurity, such as having to make the hard choice between buying food and medicine or paying their utility bill. Or, for example, keeping their homes at unsafe temperatures during hot summers. These types of decisions risk people's healths and even their lives. And with inflation and rising housing and energy costs, these impossible choices are becoming even more common. but AB 458 tackles this issue by giving Nevadans who need it most some financial relief through solar. Second, this legislation addresses a long-standing and arbitrary disparity in solar access in Nevada. If you live in a single-family home, as Assemblyman Watts talked about, you can choose to put solar on your roof and reap the benefits, and you've been able to make that choice since 1997. Thanks to SB 448, tenants of master meter building multifamily properties have been able to access savings from on-site solar since 2021. But if you happen to live in an individually metered multifamily building, you don't have the same solar opportunity simply because of the type of electrical metering in the building. So it's time that we extend the same solar benefits to the hardworking families, students, and seniors who live in all kinds of multifamily affordable housing. The third reason why this legislation is so important is it unlocks hundreds of millions of federal funds for Nevadans. As you heard, the Nevada Clean Energy Fund was awarded $156 million Solar for All award, which AB 455 helps ensure that there's equitable access to these funds for low-income households and ensures that we don't leave federal funding on the table. But on top of that, there's another source of funds, an even bigger source of funds in the federal tax credits that can cover up to 70% of the cost of a solar installation on an affordable housing development. So these funds, they can not only help bring down energy and housing costs, but they also create quality jobs. For example, through our Solar for All program, the Nevada Clean Energy Fund expects to provide guaranteed energy cost savings to roughly 50,000 Nevadans. And also support workforce development initiatives across the state that will create over 1,000 jobs. But we need AB 458 to make this all possible. So finally, this legislation is important because it ensures that we're using every tool possible to address our affordable housing crisis here in Nevada. While Nevada ranks first in the nation for solar potential, we rank last in affordable housing stock, with the largest shortage of affordable homes available to renters living below the poverty line. So AB 458 helps us put our incredible solar resource to work in addressing this housing shortage. Even though this legislation only impacts a small subset of the housing market, it really has an outsized impact on Nevadans living on limited incomes. And because of this, it has support from diverse stakeholders. In a letter of support submitted by the Nevada Clean Energy Fund, we've got 23 signees ranging from community organizations, advocacy groups, public and private affordable housing developers, local solar companies, and several tribal stakeholders as well. So thank you, members of the committee, for considering AB 458, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Howard Watts for the record. In the interest of time, we will not walk through the bill. Are glad to answer any questions that you have about provisions within it. I think you've heard, and you will hear from folks providing testimony and support as well about how this helps address critical issues in our state, including housing affordability, because if you can't afford your utilities, to me, that is a fundamental piece of being able to afford your housing costs, as well as some of the other economic benefits that it can bring. I do want to just note that there is a minor amendment that has been provided. Really, it is looking to just clean up one definition that was modified through an amendment on the assembly side and came out of drafting a little bit off. So we're just trying to clarify that a little bit. With that, we thank you for your time, and I'll answer any questions that you have.
I think we'll start with Senator Hansen. Go ahead.
You want to rush it, huh? Okay. Thanks, Madam Chair. She wants to keep it to a minimum. She asked the wrong guy, of course, but several things. One, $156 million coming from the federal government. Is that going to require prevailing wage to be mandatory for the contractors that install these?
Kirsten Stasio for the record. Davis-Bacon and related acts are a requirement of that $156 million Solar for All award.
Good, because my next question is more of an issue I've noticed, and that is a lot of the, I'm not going to say non-union, but they are non-union contractors that have installed these. A lot of times they do frankly shoddy work. They get all the subsidies up front, they disappear, and the homeowners are stuck with a second-rate system that they can't get anybody to come out and repair. And so I want to make sure that if we are going to move forward with this and it's going to be subsidized by the government, that your IBEW folks at least have a competitive shot at putting some of these in, because they do definitely do quality work. The last question is, what's the average cost? You know, does it cost $15,000 to put these on a multi-family type unit per unit, or what is the cost? And then what is the estimated return on investment? I mean, how long does it take to essentially get, you know, your power bill's currently $300 a month, and this drops it to $150, and the unit costs $15,000 to install, and do the math, you can figure it out. Have you guys done that roughly on this kind of stuff?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Kirsten Stasio for the record. Average cost, I mean, it really varies depending on the size of the building, but it could be anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million-ish. And it also depends on if a building wanted to put in place battery energy storage. Yeah, and part of what we do is that economic assessment to help ensure that the project owners and the individual households that we're working with are experiencing benefits from this. The payback is going to vary, but for the individual household, they're not responsible for putting up the capital to build the project itself. So they're supposed to be getting savings from day one.
I know, but I mean, the taxpayers they're paying for it, right, instead of the actual consumer. So I'm just trying to wonder if it's 500 to $1 million per application, you got 156 million coming in, then you've got roughly 300 units that could be theoretically built with that federal money, right? Is that my math right on that?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, payback for an individual project.
Name for the record.
Oh, Kirsten Stasio for the record, thank you. Could be anywhere between 10 to 15 years. The way that we structure it as part of Solar for All is we include actually a loan to the affordable housing developer paired with a rebate. And our loan is 12 years. So after that loan falls off, then they're just experiencing pure savings after that 12-year period.
Okay, no, I just want to see if this stuff pencils out, because I actually was a solar contractor putting in hot water systems for water heaters. But when I'd go and give them their estimate, it'd be, $10,000, and it saved them $75 a month in hot water costs. They just did the math and go, well, hell, 20 years from now, I still won't have paid this thing off completely. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is it going to pencil out for the consumer? So that's where I was going. I minimize it, Madam Chair, by my standards, pretty minimal, so thank you.
I would agree with that. Howard Watts for the record. And I appreciate those questions. I just wanted to note a couple of things. There are also provisions in this bill that ensure there are strong labor standards attached to anything that would receive state or local funding as well. And one of the major things that we did was to clarify that these systems would be covered by all of the existing consumer protection laws that exist, and there are several statutes that apply specifically to solar photovoltaic systems that we've seen to address some of the issues that you brought up. And so these, all of those would be brought into any system under this bill. And I know we've got members of this committee who have been working and are still working on improving those consumer protections. All of those would apply to these systems as well.
And I think that brings us to our next question from Senator Doñate.
Thank you so much, Chair. And I just want to echo the comments of our presenter. Certainly, we've worked together both in 2023 and even in this legislative session to tackle some of the deceptive trade practices that we're seeing in the industry and making sure that people are playing a fair game. But I think there's obviously more work that we can do and so forth. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that. My question, I know that, and this is just more because of the substance of the policy, I wanted to maybe ask more of the context of what you're bringing forward. It's my understanding that other states have struggled with this issue because there's this debate as to if we provide these subsidies for, say, affordable housing units, does that put the burden on low-income households that don't live in those units, right? And so how do you decipher this net metering issue that is, or the subsidy that has been in place by other states and are now moving away towards it? So maybe if you can walk to the background of why you think this bill makes sense based on the trends that we're seeing with other states.
Thank you for that question, Howard Watts for the record. That's a good question. I think here's a couple of things that I would provide as additional context. About half the states in the United States have some sort of policy framework to address providing access to solar power for the communities that we're talking about. Several of those policies are much broader than what we're talking about here. They are expanded in the population that they can serve, where those systems can be located, et cetera. We really wanted to tailor this to this community because, as you heard, there's an equity issue fundamentally. Homeowners that own their own homes, they already have the ability to put on solar. Via legislation in 2021, if you have a master meter for the entire affordable housing community, now those folks can put on solar and provide those benefits to the residents. But if each individual tenant has a meter, there is currently no way, they're prohibited from doing the same thing, building a solar system and then providing the benefits of that to the individual tenants. And so that is fundamentally what we're trying to do. One of the things that this bill includes is a 50 megawatt capacity limit for this program. So there is no capacity limit for traditional net metering for homeowners. And so those issues that you bring up, they do exist. They're actually much larger for the residential scale program. And so while I think those are conversations that we need to continue to have and issues that probably do need to be addressed in the future, in the near future probably, I think the fundamental issue is, why is it that those folks have unlimited access while the folks living in these apartments that we're talking about have zero access? And I think at that amount that we're talking about, it is 4%, a tiny fraction of what we've already seen deployed in overall net metering in our state. And so when you kind of put it into that context, any overall impact that may be felt by other ratepayers who are not participating in this is minimal. Meanwhile, those ratepayers today are covering the costs that may be associated with an individual who owns their own home installing solar.
I don't think we have any other questions, so we will start testimony. I didn't say this at the beginning, but we obviously have 5 bills here. So I'm going to start with kind of a 10-minute limit here. So like I said, if you can be brief, you can always supplement with your thing. I just want to make sure that everyone has an opportunity. So if you can come to the table and start filling in right away, that would be wonderful. Again, please feel free to check in, even if you don't want to testify in support, opposition, or neutral, and you can mark that on that, and that will become a part of our record. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Tanager on behalf of the Sierra Club Toyabe chapter. For the record, we are here in strong support of AB 458. This bill represents a fiscally responsible and forward-looking investment in Nevada's future. By promoting solar-powered affordable housing, we can reduce energy burdens on working-class families, strengthen our energy independence, and bolster revenue for solar companies in Nevada. And with that, we urge your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Maurice Page. I am the Executive Director for the Nevada Housing Coalition. The Nevada Housing Coalition is a statewide nonprofit working to promote the development and preservation of affordable housing. Our organization includes over 350 members across the state from the urban and rural communities, public and private sectors, developers, builders, financiers, so forth and so on. I am here to express support for Assembly Bill 458. This bill represents an important policy advancement that aligns with our mission to promote affordable housing solutions that are sustainable, equitable, and community-rooted. Supporting Nevada's housing system is much like bench pressing. No one succeeds in lifting the full weight of the housing crisis alone. It takes coordination, support, and balance. AB 458 provides that balance by allowing solar-powered affordable housing systems to participate in net metering and expands access to clean energy for low-income tenants. This legislation removes barriers, clarifies roles, and creates regulatory structure that enables community-based solutions to thrive. We would like to thank Assemblymember Watts for sponsoring this legislation and urge your full support. Together, we can press forward with policies that reduce the cost burden on families, lower carbon emissions, and strengthen Nevada's housing infrastructure for decades to come. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Laurel Saito. I'm with the Nature Conservancy. The Nature Conservancy supports Assembly Bill 458 to allow for net metering for solar-powered affordable housing systems. We support this bill because it promotes the equitable distribution of solar energy opportunities. This bill gives the opportunity for more Nevadans to benefit from renewable energy generation where they live. We support policies that expand distributed generation of renewable energy systems like rooftop solar. So we urge your support for Assembly Bill 458, and we thank you and Assemblyman Watts.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. My name is Sabrina Schnur, SABRINA-SCHNUR, and I'm here today on behalf of the Nevada Public Health Association, and we are in support. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Good afternoon, Chair Wynn, Vice Chair Pazina, and members of the committee. My name is Wally Swenson, and I'm here representing Nevada Hand, a 501c3 nonprofit and the state's largest affordable housing developer who was founded in 1993. Nevada Hand strongly supports AB 458, and I respectfully encourage your support to help low-income renters across Nevada access the financial and environmental benefits of rooftop solar. Thank you for your consideration.
Good afternoon, Committee. Harrison Bond with Brownstein, HARRISON, on behalf of Ovation Development, here in support of Assembly Bill 458. Ovation wants to acknowledge Assemblymember Watts for his leadership, session after session, in furthering how Nevadans, including those living in apartments, can enjoy greener living options and have those energy savings passed on to them. We thank the sponsor for his time, and we will continue to work with him to advance these important policy goals. Ovation has been a pioneer in clean energy options to our residents, and we are in full support of AB 458's concept. Ovation believes all residents, regardless of socioeconomic status, deserve a quality home that helps to strengthen individual lives, families, and community. AB 458 furthers that goal, and we urge the committee for their support. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Chairwoman. My name is Will Barrett. I'm the Senior Director for Nationwide Clean Air Advocacy with the American Lung Association, speaking in strong support of this measure. Nearly 93% of all residents of the state live in communities that received a failing grade in our recent air quality report, The State of the Air. So it's really important that we take full advantage of all the tools available to lower air pollution for all residents, especially those most impacted by unhealthy air. We believe that Assembly Bill 458 will lower energy costs for family, reduce air pollution across the state, and ensure that all Nevadans can have a real chance at breathing healthier air. For the sake of time, I'll point you to our submitted testimony in support of the bill, as well as a letter written on of support written on behalf of several public health organizations, including the Southern Nevada Health District, American Academy of Pediatrics, Nevada Clinicians for Climate Action, and several local health professionals also supporting the measure. So thank you for your support. I appreciate the hard work.
Good afternoon, Chairman and the committee. My name is Kathy Thomas. I'm the Chief Housing Officer for the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, and we are a member of the Nevada Housing Coalition. We are here today to speak in support of the bill and to note that we are one of the largest providers of affordable housing in the state. And because we own about 4,000 of those units, we can ensure that the rents stay affordable. We cannot ensure that the utilities stay affordable. This bill is a significant opportunity to support the working poor, families who are struggling to make ends meet. And with our rent subsidies and the ability to have reduced energy bills, it can change the trajectory of a family's life. So we urge you to support this bill and help us help those families. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Wynn and members of the committee. My name is Cade Grogan with Ferrari Reader Public Affairs. That's CADEGROGAN. And I am here representing Western Resource Advocates. WRA is in strong support of AB 458. AB 458 would ensure that Nevadans living in multifamily housing can access the benefits of solar energy by allowing affordable housing complexes to install rooftop solar and pass the savings directly to their residents. Furthermore, AB 458 would allow developers and owners of affordable multifamily properties to leverage federal grants like the Nevada Clean Energy's Fund's $156 million Solar for All Award. A portion of the Solar for All Award is dedicated to workforce training, which ensures that Nevada remains first in the nation for solar jobs per capita. Affordable housing properties that install solar energy will experience a reduction in operating costs, which will lower residents' electricity bills by about 20%. WRA would like to thank Assemblymember Watts for bringing forward this bill, and we urge the committee to support AB 458. Thank you.
Just going to encourage everyone to be quick. We're running about 3 minutes here left, so keep going.
Thank you, Chair and committee members. My name is Caitlin Gachanyan, and I'm the Nevada representative for SWEEP. We just wanted to be on the record that we support this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Wynn, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Cadence Matijevich, C-A-D-E-N-C-E-M-A-T-I-J-E-V-I-C-H, representing Washoe County, us too.
Good afternoon, Chair Wynn and members of the committee. My name is Minja Yan, M-I-N-J-I-A-Y-A-N, and I'm representing the American Institute of Architects, AIA Nevada chapter today to support AB 458, AIA's leading voice for professional architects across the state, and we're here to support. Thank you.
Chair and members of the committee, Jessica Ferrato, F-E-R-R-A-T-O, here on behalf of the Solar Energy Industries Association in support of the bill. Thank you.
Chair and members of the committee, my name is Julia Hubbard on behalf of Solar United Neighbors Nevada, and we'd like to echo the comments already spoken and point you towards our written testimony for more detail. We urge your support and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Christy Cabrera-Georgeson. I'm the Deputy Director of the Nevada Conservation League, and this bill is a top priority bill for NCL this legislative session. We are not alone in that. We did recent polling and found that 78% of Nevadans support expanding solar access to renters and affordable housing. Additionally, I'd like to point to a letter we submitted on Nellis with 26 organizations, businesses, et cetera, in support of the bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Andrea Martinez, A-N-D-R-E-A-M-A-R-T-I-N-E-Z. I am a citizen of the Walk River Paiute tribe and also former chairwoman. I also am the current chair for the Nevada Clean Energy Fund Tribal Advisory Board, and I just wanted to ensure that tribal voices were also on the record at this level, and we did all the comments before us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I thank you for allowing us to have the opportunity to speak. My name is Nina Bailey. I am a member of the Nevada Housing Coalition, but I'm also a business owner that provides affordable housing. I own a fourplex building in which I provide space for those that are low income as well as extremely low income. The bill that Senator Watts is proposing would have benefited a homeowner and a business owner as myself, because we were unfortunately required to pay anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month in electric bills on top of the $354 that we paid to the solar company, due to the fact that we could not splice the panels to each one of the units. So when you're Senator Hansen, thinking about the cost to those of us that would benefit, it's extreme. I would have netted over the course of about the 20-year period that these loans are set up for, something close to $300,000, which would have been an extreme benefit, as you can imagine, to the tenants that I serve. So I absolutely, wholeheartedly urge you to support this bill for multifamily owners such as myself. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the people that are at the table, and then I'm going to go to Las Vegas. So go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Michonne Hurst, Nevada Rural Housing Authority. For the record, we're in strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Pana Stauffer. I'm a project manager at Praxis Consulting Group. We are also a member of the Nevada Housing Coalition. We're in strong support of this bill and just want to emphasize that property owners installing solar will be required to follow federal regulations on rent and utilities. They will only be able to pass along savings, not costs. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll go to Las Vegas. Go ahead and begin when you are ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair Wynn and the members of the committee. I am Dr. Mary House, the CEO of CHR Inc. Due to time restraints, I just want to say we are in support of AB 458, and we did submit a letter, so my details are in my letter. Please support it. God bless.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Pastor Marlon Anderson. That's Marlon Anderson, and I am the community organizer for Faith Organizing Alliance. Just really briefly, a couple years back, I was renting a home. We had solar panels. We saved a lot of money. A lot of our neighbors did not have solar panels on their rented homes, and they spent a lot of money. And bottom line, in the climate we live in, people need to save money. And if we have an opportunity to save money to help our community members in the city of Las Vegas and Nevada statewide, then we have to do everything we can to make sure we do that. We need money to provide for our families, take care of our things. And so, Faith Organizing Alliance, we're in full support of this bill. Thank you.
Hello, committee. My name is Tracy Byrd, TracyByrd. I just want to be on record that I am in favor of AB 458. I'm a witness of lower bills and having a solar panel put on. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair Nguyen, members of the committee. Rose McKinney James. I'm the managing principal of Energy Works, also McKinney James and Associates. Currently, I have the privilege of serving as the chair of the advisory board for NSEF. I want to say a me too, but I'd also like to say that it's important to note that NSEF, I think, is uniquely equipped to advance the tenets of this bill. They've worked very hard to secure the resources that I think we need to take the solar access to the next step, which means that we will now advance accessibility to those who are in affordable housing. By way of background, I think many of you know, I've served in a number of capacities, from a member of the Utility Commission to your Director of Department of Business and Industry, but importantly also as the Chief Executive Officer of CSTAR. CSTAR was a corporation for solar technology and renewable resources, a very early effort to deploy the commercial deployment of solar. So I've seen a lot over the years, and I really appreciate Assemblyman Watts and Kirsten for their efforts in this regard, and I urge your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and a member of the committee. My name is Qiyuan Liu, spelled like Qiyuanliu. And I'm today here to support AB 458. And I'm with the YP Nevada, a grassroots organization dedicated of the organization Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and the Pacific Islander in Nevada to increase the civil participation and advocate of the issues that impact our community. One of the big benefits of the instant solar panel is the participation in net metering, which is the low of the cost of your electrical bill by sending back exact electrical to the grounded. While the private homeowner can access this benefit, renters who live in the house with the solar-powered affordable housing system for multi-family home do not benefit from the net metering. This is the especially relevant for the AAPI community, where the many family resident in multi-family home and have difficult access renewable energy benefit. If we are serious about moving Nevada to a clean energy future, we need everyone to invest and benefit from the clean energy sources like the solar panel. AB 458 is a common sense bill that help make the solar panel identify available to the wide range of the consumers. We urge you to support this bill. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Meneses, and I'm a member of Chispa, Nevada. I live in Las Vegas, and I'm the mother of 6 children ages 12 to 23. I'm here to support Assembly Bill 458 to allow low-income houses to have solar panels and save on monthly bills. As someone on fixed income due to disability, I have struggled to pay our electrical bill, which can be anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. At what point, I owe $700 at Nevada Energy. And Nevada Energy threatened me to disconnect our electricity. Even though we try to conserve electricity, we have had to make sacrifices. I had to limit the food to buy for the kids and buy fewer fruits and vegetables overall because they are more expensive. This means I cannot provide to my kids or myself a diabetic with nutritious food. I even had to pound jewelry to pay the bills. Today, I ask you to do everything you can lower utility bills. We need more programs that help low income or fixed income families like mine reduce their electrical bill. I have heard about that work, all the Green Bank, and want to see more programs like these ones to lower our bills. Low-income families need this relief. Thank you.
Hello, members of the committee. Thank you for your time. My name is Audrey Peral, and I'm the program director of Chispa, Nevada. We organize Latina families in Las Vegas and Reno on environmental justice issues. I'm here today in support of AB 458. This is a priority for Chispa, Nevada members because many of our families are struggling with high electricity bills and lack of access to clean energy. We urge your support, and I have submitted more in a letter. Thank you.
If we can go to the phone lines for testimony and support.
If you would like to testify in support, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Chair Nguyen, and members of the committee. My name is Shonda Johnson, spelled SHAUNDA, JOHNSON. I'm the Executive Director of Faith in Action Nevada, which is a statewide faith-based organization building people power to create systemic change across Nevada's most marginalized communities. I'm here in strong support of AB 458 because it's a transformational opportunity to bring real economic and environmental benefits to the people who need them most. In a state where half the population rents, clean energy should not be reserved for homeowners. Everyone deserves access to affordable, reliable energy, and AB 458 helps make that a reality for families living in affordable housing. I echo the support you've heard from others today and have submitted a letter with more details. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Joanne Leovy, JOANNE-LEOVY. I'm chair of Nevada Clinicians for Climate Action. We are in strong support because of the public health benefits expected by lowering building emissions and reducing the energy burden on affordable housing customers. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chantel Roberts from Vote Solar. We are a national nonprofit working to transition the U.S. to 100% clean energy, and I just would like to echo the sentiments of everyone else and just remind us that the communities that have been overburdened by pollution can finally benefit from the solution. With this bill, I urge you guys to pass this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Nguyen and members of the committee. My name is Mary Wagner, that is WAGNER. I'm with Momston Air Force, Nevada, and Ecomadres. I'd like to thank the committee for hearing this smart and comprehensive bill. We've submitted written comments with more details, but I want to use this time to urge your support for AB 458 to help bring solar savings and healthier homes to Nevada families who need them the most. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Hector Ariola, the Policy Fellow with the Nevada Environmental Justice Coalition, and we really want to echo everyone's concerns in regards on how this bill is about fairness, tenants in multifamily housing, and how this will give them the liberty to choose their energy provider. But we also want to emphasize how AB 456 is also about maintaining a resilient power grid and keeping costs low for NV Energy customers by eliminating the need to invest in upgrading our power grid for the new energy demand for our longer and hotter summers. Reducing strain on our power grid reduces the chances of power outages, but also protects the lives of Nevadans who rely on medical equipment to survive. Providing a stable and reliable energy supply is not just about convenience, it's a matter of life and death for our most vulnerable residents. We urge you to support Assembly Bill 458 to build a more resilient and robust Nevada. Thank you for your time and the dedication to the people of our state.
Hello, my name is Carrie Buckambuso, K-A-R-I-B-U-C-C-A-M-B-U-S-O. I'm a Nevada resident and member of the Nevada chapter of Mormon Women for Ethical Government, also called MWEG. The Nevada chapter of Mormon Women for Ethical Government supports AB 458, and so do I as an individual. To respect your time, I will echo what others have said in support of this bill, as we've already submitted a letter to the committee with further details. We urge you to vote yes on AB 458. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair Wynn and members of the committee. My name is Liz Becker, L-I-Z-B-E-C-K-E-R, and I'm calling in to support Assembly Bill 458 on behalf of the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada. I am also a member of the Persistent Poverty Community Council on the INSEF, the Nevada Clean Energy Fund, and I also have been studying this issue since I graduated from UNLV in 2007 with an environmental science degree. And I will say that this has been a long time coming, and I really want to thank Assemblymember Watts for his hard work in getting this bill to you all. This is a first step. We want community solar to be available not only to multifamily housing, but to all renters, as homeowners have been able get solar on their homes and net meter for many years. And there are a lot of other community members who would like to be able to provide solar to those around them. Most importantly, I believe houses of worship, especially in parts of town that have been most impacted as climate change increases the temperature and the urban heat island effect. So again, thank you, Assemblymember Watts, and thank you for hearing this bill. And I also want to echo everyone who has gone before me. Ditto.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Matilda Miller. That's M-A-T-H-I-L-D-A-M-I-L-L-E-R, Government Relations Director of Native Voters Alliance Nevada, and in strong support of Assembly Bill 458. Nevada is home to two of the fastest warming cities in this country, and we really don't need a report to tell us that because we live through it every summer. And to keep things short, this bill is about basic dignity, survival, and keeping people safe in the face of rising heat and rising costs. And it does more than just lower bills. It creates clean energy jobs, builds up our workforce, and invests in the communities that have been left behind time and time again. We urge your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Senator Wynn and members of the committee. This is Dara Martinez with the Nevada Disability Action Coalition. I want to ditto and echo Miss Awesome Amazing Matilda Miller's comments and everyone before me. And thank you, Assemblymember Watts, for bringing this common sense bill forward. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Take care.
Chair, there are no more callers in support at this time.
Thank you. And while we're on the phone lines, can we go to opposition testimony? Is there anyone to testify in opposition on the phone lines?
If you'd like to testify in opposition on AB 458, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in opposition at this time.
And next we will go to in-person opposition here in Carson City. So if you're here to testify in opposition, please fill in the table. Again, I will start the timer 10, 10, and 10. And we can go ahead and begin when you're ready. If you are here to testify in opposition, or if you are here for the hearing in Las Vegas to testify in opposition, go ahead and fill in those chairs as well. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you. Chair Wynn, for the record, my name is Danny Thompson. I'm here today on behalf of IBW 396 and IBW 1245 to express our opposition to AB 458 in its current form. We support the goal of expanding solar access to low-income Nevadans, but this bill creates serious problems that could hurt the very people it intends to help. First, AB 458 allows the use of net metering credits to repay loans issued through the Nevada Clean Energy Fund. This shifts costs from solar customers to non-solar customers, raising rates for working families who can't afford solar. Second, the bill sets up a third-party ownership structure that could put legal burdens on affordable housing property owners. If owners lose control or face new liabilities, they may simply choose not to participate, shutting the door onto communities we're trying to reach. And finally, there's no guarantee that these solar systems will be installed or maintained by qualified licensed electricians. That's a safety risk for tenants, and it threatens the long-term success of the program. Thank you.
You're on. Okay. Jeremy Newman for the record, representing Local 396. In the interest of time, I'll just ditto what Mr. Thompson said. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. Marie Steele with NV Energy. We are here today in opposition as amended. I do want to thank Chair Watts and Kirsten Stasio for their work since the last time we discussed this bill around consumer protections. Two just brief concerns that we still have, and we do look forward to working with the chair on that. One is around process, and so in my prior roles, I have been an administrator of both customer programs in the utility space and net metering applications. And so while there is great detail in this legislation, it certainly would benefit from the rulemaking process or regulations, and we do understand that's not the intent currently. And then also we do have some general questions around battery storage, if that's allowed resource type as solar resources, and then if there is battery storage allowed, how that would affect the allocations. And so that is our testimony for today. Thank you.
May I ask you a question? I know on the other side that there was an amendment that I believe was proposed by NV Energy. And is it my understanding that that was accepted and incorporated into the bill as it came out of the assembly?
So the amendment that was presented was the amendment related to community-based solar resources. So part of the legislation is to expand CBSRs to utilize solar for all funding. And then as well, we did work on some of our concerns with Kirsten and the chair, and so that came in through the amendment that the chair presented, is my understanding.
So there was amendments that were accepted by the sponsor, but not enough to get you in support or even neutral of the bill.
Yeah, we've got those two last one and hoping to get there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I don't see anyone else at the table here. I don't see anyone in Carson City. If we can now move to, and I already did phone lines for opposition. If we can go to neutral testimony. If there's anyone to testify in neutral, if you can come up to the table. Seeing no one here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, if we can go to the phone lines and see if there's anyone to testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 458.
If you'd like to testify in neutral on AB 458, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in neutral at this time.
Thank you. Oh, I see someone coming to the table in Las Vegas. Are you here to testify in neutral? I know that we have some people here in this room, and we did have an overflow room in 3142. And I know a lot of people in the teal shirts have left, but if I could just get people that are here in support of Assembly Bill 458 that maybe weren't able to testify, just so I can maybe do that. Maybe if you could stand up, that's okay. Awesome. Thank you. And I appreciate you guys coming in here and advocating, anyone coming in and advocating, whether it's for or against or in neutral on all of these bills. So thank you for your participation in this. And again, I would encourage you to check in, note whatever your support or opposition or neutral testimony is on any of the bills if you weren't able to testify, and you can always submit that details in writing. So thank you for being here. Do we have any other? Nope, we're waving off our closing. So with that, I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 458. And I had indicated that I would start Assembly Bill 140, but I don't see oh, she's here. So we can open the hearing on Assembly Bill 140, and I will invite Assembly Member Cecilia Gonzalez up to the table. Go ahead and begin when you're ready. And I apologize, I have to run out and present my own bills, so I'm going to turn this over to my Vice Chair, Pazina.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair, members of the committee. I do have a co-presenter who is in Las Vegas with me, so I will give my remarks and kick it to her, and it will be within the 10-minute time frame. So thank you so much. Thank you so much Cecilia Gonzalez, representing Assembly District 16. Driver authorization cards, also known as DACs, were first introduced in Nevada in 2014. These cards provide driving privileges to individuals who may not be eligible for a regular driver's license due to their inability to fulfill some proof of identity requirements. As such, undocumented immigrants are able to obtain a DAC with a birth certificate or passport from a foreign government. Before the implementation of DAC, such immigrants in Nevada were unable to obtain driver's licenses and auto insurance, which made driving a risky and potentially dangerous activity for both driver and other motor vehiclists on the road. The implementation of DACs made it legal for undocumented immigrants to drive on our roads and gave them opportunities to go to work, drive their children to school, and contribute in other ways to society. Since the program's inception, thousands of people in Nevada have obtained DACs, which allows them to also obtain auto insurance. I will now turn it over to my co-presenter, and we will waive walking through the bill. It's pretty straightforward. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Erika Castro, ERIKACASTRO. First, we'd like to thank Assemblywoman Gonzalez for bringing AB 140 once again to this body. We're also thankful to the Assembly votes to move this bill forward over to your side for further consideration. We're grateful for the continued commitment to working with our communities to make Nevada a fair and just state for all, and it is my pleasure to be here presenting with Assemblywoman today. I'm here on behalf of the Nevada Immigrant Coalition, which works to ensure that immigrants, refugees, and new American voices are heard at all levels of government to advocate for humane and fair policies across the state. We believe in working towards a Nevada that welcomes, respects, and protects everyone regardless of their immigration status. Additionally, I'm also the organizing director with the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada. As a community organizer, I often hear about the benefits of having the privilege to drive and the sense of stability it can bring to those who are not eligible for a standard or real ID license. Before the implementation of DAC, such immigrants in Nevada were unable to obtain driver's licenses and auto insurance, which made driving a risky and potential dangerous activity, as mentioned. DACs are crucial for our public safety since it ensures all drivers, regardless of their immigration status, are tested and insured on our roads. Driving with a DAC allows folks to feel safe and secure and be full members of our society. Thousands of Nevadans have been able to obtain DACs and become trusted drivers. But it's been over 10 years since the bipartisan law was passed and signed by Governor Sandoval, and we have some changes we'd like to make. Our main goal with AB 140 is for DACs to have the same renewal process as our standard driver's licenses in Nevada. This would mean that the renewal process and fees for DACs would mirror those of our standard Nevada driver's licenses to ensure equity for all. This bill does not change the DAC requirements regarding the written tests, driving tests, or proof of identification for those trying to obtain a DAC, as it As it currently stands, DAC holders have to renew their driving privileges more frequently than those who have standard or Real ID compliant driver licenses, 4 years versus 8 years. DAC holders still have to go through the same process of being tested, and so again, the renewal process is the only thing is being updated. Currently, DAC holders are spending more time and more money at the DMV compared to those with standard driver's licenses or Real IDs. We all know it's not a quick trip to the DMV with limited walk-in options. This means DA holders might need to take time off work to renew their driving privileges, especially since DAC holders are not able to renew online. For many in this economy, taking time off work is not always feasible. By making these updates, we are lessening the cost burden to DAC holders, but also reducing congestion at the DMV, given that DAC holders would need to renew less often, creating a positive impact for all Nevadans and the DMV. Lastly, it is important to note, as stated by Senator Dennis in his original presentation of SB 303 in 2013, that there are other Nevadans who can benefit from DACs, not just undocumented immigrants. For example, someone who lost their original documentation to a natural disaster, such as the fires we sometimes see in Northern Nevada, or a student who just moved to our state and doesn't have their passport or original birth certificate, but does have their license from another state. Even a military member who only has their U.S. military identification card and is unable to produce a Real ID standard license required proof of identification could obtain a DAC to legally drive on our roads. Thank you for your time and consideration on this bill. We look forward to your support or a discussion if you are not fully there yet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. And with that, we are ready for questions.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member and Ms. Castro, for the presentation. Do we have any questions, committee?
You're the boss. I do.
All right, we'll start with Senator Hansen.
Thanks, Madam Vice Chair. Nice to see you again. Unfortunately, we have some similar issues on this. I actually voted against SB 303 back in 2013. So, and the reason I did then, right now, I'm called a lawmaker. We are lawmakers here, and when we pass a law, it's only reasonable that we expect people to follow the law. In this case, we're talking about people that are illegally in the country, and they have violated a law, yet we're going to make a bypass process for them to get something that's supposed to be limited to legal citizens or legal immigrants. So I'm very uncomfortable with the whole concept behind this. I don't understand why we as lawmakers are trying to do a carve-out for people that have violated the law. And also, as far as lines at the DMV and things like that, if it was limited to legal immigrants or citizens, you would see a reduction in those lines. So I'm sorry, I just can't support this, because just like back in I remember all the arguments. They had the state of Utah actually come tell us why we needed to do this. Now they've done it in Utah and why it was supposedly so wonderful. But it's like, I'm just uncomfortable being a lawmaker saying we're going to ignore certain laws and create certain special carve-outs for people that we know are illegally in the country and breaking federal immigration law. So anyway, your thoughts on, don't want to take it personal. I know we kind of got into it in judiciary, and I know you and my wife are like this, so I don't want to cause any rifts, but I just am very uncomfortable with legalizing a process for somebody that's illegal in the country.
Thank you so much. Cecilia Gonzalez, District 16 for the record. I appreciate your comments. Is there a question there?
Yeah, how can you as a lawmaker justify encouraging people who are breaking federal law to bypass being held accountable for that by giving them special status with a special carved out driver's license?
Cecilia Gonzalez, District 16 for the record. I don't think that this bill does that, Senator. I don't think that it is encouraging people to come here to the United States to obtain a driver's license. I think very much what my colleague said down in Las Vegas, this is about safety and making sure that people are insured, right? We do know one of the reasons of why our car insurances and our policies continuously go up is because people are not insured. And so this helps people be safe on the roads. This helps that if somebody were to hit my vehicle, they would be authorized to be driving their vehicle, that they own their vehicle, and that they could provide insurance. I have been in that situation where I've been hit by somebody that does not have insurance, regardless of their immigration status. And so I don't think that this bill promotes immigration to the U.S., right? Also, people are here. They pay taxes. We've had this conversation earlier today, right? And I think it is a matter of we just have to agree to disagree on the basic part of this, right? this bill already exists, and we just are asking to really change the timeline so that it is current with what other driver's licenses are going through. I also know that the DMV, they testified in the assembly, I believe that they are here today as well, is going through their revamp. And so this is a great time to bring a piece of legislation like this. Again, we can disagree about why people come to this country or why they're here. I don't agree that this bill necessarily promotes that or promotes not doing certain things to come here. So I think, again, we disagree with that. It is about safety, and it is about making sure that people, whether they are, whatever their status is here, if they are operating on the roads, if they are taking their children to school, right, that they have insurance and that they are able to drive legally on the road.
All right, well, I respect your opinions. We'll have to disagree, agree to disagree. Nothing personal, but I didn't suggest this is the reason people would come illegally to America, but it is a way that they get around enforcement by federal authorities by basically being allowed to drive on Nevada roads, even though they don't even legally belong in the country. So, thank you, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you. And I would also reiterate what the assembly member shared, is that this is a law already on the books that was signed into law in 2013, and really the renewal is the only thing being discussed here today. But I thank everyone for their civility and everyone getting along, and we never want to see a rift arise, especially you sleeping on the couch after insulting your wife's friend. Okay, so we're going to go to Senator Dunyate.
Thank you so much, Vice Chair, and thank you, of course, to our presenter for coming forward. I wanted to, because of the severity of what we're talking about today, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. That this, I know that we just had the discussion, but just to have the same starting place. This was a bipartisan effort that was led and signed under a Republican governor. It was led by a Democratic senator, former Senator Mo Dennis, and signed by a Republican governor. Is that not correct?
Cecilia Gonzalez, District 16, for the record, yes, that is correct. And I do want to note in your question of stating that this is bipartisan, right? I mean, the senator also acknowledged Utah, which is typically a red state, right? Came to the table and said, we need to do this. And so I do agree it is a bipartisan issue that folks have supported. And again, it comes down to safety and making sure that folks are operating motor vehicles if they are able to, right? They pass their test, they get their license like anyone else, and that they're also able to obtain insurance.
Thank you. And Vice Chair, I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page. I think the difficulty, right, when there's instances of political narratives nationally and the reality that folks often face, right? I think about my own family members that have lived in this country, in this state longer than I've been alive, right? They have called Nevada home for 30 plus years, and many of them often did not drive with the driver's authorization card as prior to this legislation, but now do so. And so I guess because that conversation has left, that is not what we're debating today. All we're debating, because I've received an influx of misinformation to my emails, all we're debating as to whether or not these cards should be aligned to the same structure that I, as a U.S. citizen, should be aligned towards. Is that correct?
Cecilia Gonzalez, District 16, for the record, yes, that is correct. We are simply asking for a structural change in parity with how driver's licenses are right now, meaning their expiration and how long that they last.
Thank you. And just, Vice Chair, I just wanted to ask one more last question. Would it be a fair assumption to say, because individuals don't have to, if we align, say that if this law passes, we align it to the same structure that, say, a regular citizen like myself. So if I have a family member, right, and they have a driver's authorization card, I have a license. I just renewed my license on my birthday just about last month. It's the same process now. Could there be a fair assessment to be made that individuals don't have to return to the DMV as often, meaning that we could essentially reduce the lines for everyone?
Cecilia Gonzalez, District 16, for the record. Yes, that is correct, and that is the goal. If I know that the DMV is here and they will testify to how this will impact them as well, and I think that it is going to have a positive impact on our state in the long run of making sure that, like I said, we have parity with both of how these licenses are administrated. Again, they are going through a revamp right now, which is a great time to really have this conversation, and I think we had that testimony in the assembly as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Senator Buck, did you have, okay. It looks like we have no further questions. I thank you so much. I will remind everyone of the importance of civility as we have you step back from the table before we take testimony in support, opposition, and neutral of Assembly Bill 458. I believe the chair shared that everyone would have 2 minutes apiece so we could get the most possible people in to testify, and also that we have 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes. So if you'd like to speak less than 2 minutes, then you give more people an opportunity to speak. So with that said, thank you so much, Assembly Member. We'll have you step back, or did you want to make another comment before?
Oh, I think you said the wrong bill. I just wanted to
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Assembly Bill
Just-
140, yes.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you.
Although we certainly had a lot of people talk about 458 earlier, but yes, you're exactly right. And with that, we will welcome anyone up to the table who'd like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 140.
All right. Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Tara Webster, T-A-R-A-W-E-B-S-T-E-R. I'm the policy manager with the Progressive Leadership Alliance of Nevada in support of AB 140. The first week that this bill was heard in Assembly, I had lost my wallet and my driver's license while I was with my son at the farmer's market. And so for me, ordering a new card was really simple. It was streamlined. I got to go online, pay a small fee, and boom. A new card was in the mail. I had no human interaction, and I don't have to think about it again for 8 years. And I don't share that because driver authorization cards have any impact on me. They don't. But I share that because a lot of the people who possess these cards aren't going to have that same seamless experience. Not only are they going to have to renew their card every 4 years instead of my 8, but if they lose their card, they have to schedule an in-person appointment at the DMV, or they have to risk going for a walk-in appointment to be seen the same day. Unfortunately, not all DMV locations offer walk-ins, and if they do, then they might only be on Wednesdays, which I learned in Washoe County. So halfway through 2024, the DMV actually had to suspend their walk-in services in Washoe and Clark County because of extreme heat. And so that really also adds a barrier for folks who have to renew in person. And, last year when those were abruptly canceled, a customer who went to go and do that process had said that, she thought it was a walk-in day. She left work early to do this, and she had lost 4 hours of her shift only to find out that everything was canceled. So as you can see, these obstacles are a huge social burden for Nevadans who rely on driver authorization cards. And whether you're an immigrant or not, taking time off work is really going to put your job and livelihood at risk. So having to renew every 4 years instead of 8 is going to add an unnecessary trouble for you, but it also adds that congestion at the DMV. So I really do want to thank Assemblywoman Gonzalez for introducing this legislation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Webster, and I want to make sure we get all of our amazing
Awesome. Thank
audience
you.
members in Vegas able to testify in support of, and I will not say the wrong bill, AB 140. And thank you so much. Please begin when you're ready in Las Vegas and state and spell your name for the record. Thank you.
Dear Vice Chair Pazina and members of the committee, my name is Shireen Lumibao, CHARINE-LOMIBAO. I am with One APIA Nevada, a grassroots nonprofit organization that advocates for the Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander community here in Nevada. And I'm here to testify for Assembly Bill 140, which modernizes Nevada's driver authorization card system to mirror driver licenses. For many Nevadans, especially immigrants, driver authorization cards are a vital tool for maintaining stability and security. Many undocumented and mixed status families depend on these cards to access work, education, and healthcare without fear of unnecessary barriers. Currently, DACs expire every 4 years, creating unnecessary burdens by both individuals and the Department of Motor Vehicles, and by standardizing the renewal process for both driver's licenses and DAC, we can ease unnecessary burdens on the DMV and taxpayers. AB 140 aligns with Nevada's commitment to pragmatic, inclusive governance, and we urge you to vote yes. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Ana González y soy miembro líder de Se Hace Camino Nevada. Hoy les pido que voten a favor de AB 140. Muchas personas de Nevada manejan todos los días para ir al trabajo, llevan a sus hijos a la escuela o hacen sus mandados, pero no todos tienen acceso a un permiso de conducir o aseguranza de auto. AB 140 les daría la oportunidad de manejar de forma legal y segura. También asegura que el permiso y la aseguranza tengan la misma fecha de vencimiento, lo cual evita confusión y reduce el riesgo de que alguien termine manejando sin precaución. Apoyar AB 140 es apoyar la seguridad de nuestras calles y la tranquilidad de nuestras familias. Gracias por su tiempo.
Good afternoon. My name is Josefina Garcia. I'm the interpreter, Spanish interpreter, and this is the interpretation. Good afternoon. My name is Ana Gonzalez, and that's spelled A-N-A-G-O-N-C as zebra, A-L-E-Z, a zebra, and I am a member leader with Make the Road Nevada. Today, I ask you to vote in favor of AB 140. Many people in Nevada drive every day to get to work, take their children to school, or run errands. But not everyone has access to a driver permit nor car insurance. AB 140 would give them the opportunity to drive legally and safely. It also ensures that the permit and the insurance expire on the same date, which avoids confusion and reduces the risk of someone ending up driving without protection. Supporting AB 140 means supporting safe roads and peace of mind for our families. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacqueline Banderas, spelled Jacqueline, Banderas Banderas, and I am member of Make a Road Nevada. I am here to support AB 140. As a mother, a worker, and a community member, I spend a lot of time driving. For my driving is not a luxury. It is part of my surviving. I try to get to work to pick up my kids from school and everyday errors, like anyone else trying to care for their family. But driving, it also comes with fears, not because we are doing something wrong, but because the system make it easy for us to fall behind. One small mistake or one that comes to inspire without notice can turn into normal day into something stressful or even dangerous. Getting pulled over so not feel like a whole life is in risk. Nevadans like me are just trying to do something right away. We are working hard. We are taking care of our families. We want to follow the rules, but we need a system that make that possible. Then this is why I'm here to support AB 140. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Alejandro Ramos, Alejandroramos. Soy residente de Nevada y miembro orgulloso de Se Hace Camino Nevada. Apoyo la propuesta AB 140 porque demasiadas personas en mi comunidad han sido tratadas como criminales por errores simples. ¿Cómo no renovar su permiso a tiempo? No porque no quisieran, sino porque las fechas de vencimiento no coinciden y es fácil confundirse por un descuido así. Una persona puede ser detenida, multada o incluso perder su carro. Es injusto que algo administrativo se convierta en una experiencia traumática. AB 140 busca corregir eso, alineando las fechas y ayudando a prevenir castigos innecesarios. Estamos hablando de personas trabajadoras, padres y madres de familia, no de criminales. Les pido que apoyen AB 140. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon. My name is Alejandro Ramos. That's Alejandro, last name Ramos, and I am Nevada resident, and I'm a proud member of Make the Road Nevada. I support AB 140 because too many people in my community have been treated like criminals for simple mistakes, like not renewing their permit on time, not because they didn't want to do it, but because the expiration dates did not match with the, so they get confused. For a mistake like that, someone can be stopped, fined, or even lose their vehicle. It's not right for administrative issue to turn into a traumatic experience. AB 140 aims to fix that by aligning expiration dates and helping to prevent unnecessary punishment. We are talking about hardworking people, parents, and families, not criminals. I ask you to please support AB 140. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we're actually going to move to the phone lines right now because we don't want to miss anyone on the phones and we only have 10 minutes. So if there's more time, we'll come back to Vegas depending on how many are on the phones. Broadcast, is there anyone on the phone lines in support of Assembly Bill 140?
If you'd like to testify in support, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Good afternoon, Vice Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Matilda Miller. That's Mathilda Miller. We're in strong support of Assembly Bill 140. Just like driver's licenses, driver authorization cards were created to keep our roads safe with trained, trusted, and insured drivers. That hasn't changed, but what has changed is how we treat the people holding them. Tag holders use their cars just like anybody else, getting to work, picking up their kids, going to the doctor. They're driving on the same exact road. They have the same exact responsibilities, but there are different unequal rules. And let's be real, the double standard isn't about safety, it's about status, and it sends a message that some Nevadans deserve stability while others don't. This bill fixes that, and it does not ask for any special treatment. It demands fair treatment with one clear standard for everyone. We urge your support. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Ayala, spelled M-A-R-I-A space A-Y-A-L-A. I am a resident of Southern Nevada and a member of Make the Road Nevada. I'm here to support AB 140 because the current system affects many aspects of our lives. I've seen people lose entire days of work just because they brought a proof of address that it wasn't even accepted that day. I've seen how an expired date can create confusion, anxiety, and fear. Thank you very much.
We have one.
Vice Chair, there are no more callers in support at this time.
Thank you so much. We have 1 minute left. So if there's someone in Las Vegas, whoever was next, would like to go for 1 minute, we can take that. Otherwise, if you'd like to both give your names for the record and share that you're in support, you're welcome to do that as well, whatever you choose.
Si alguien más en Las Vegas que quieras hablar por teléfono, presiona el 1.
Hi, my name is Jahaira Mendez, Yajaira Rimendes. I'm a proud member of Make the Road Nevada, and I ditto to all previous comments. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that leaves us 30 seconds if you want to take that last 30 seconds, and then that will be our last speaker in support. Then we'll have to move to opposition.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Corina Torres y se escribe Kornatorres y soy miembro líder de Se Hace Camino Nevada.
Sí,
Okay. Estoy aquí apoyando AB 140 porque conozco personas que han perdido días de trabajo por no tener sus documentos al día. No porque no quieran renovarlos, sino porque el sistema tiene fechas distintas para cada documento y es muy fácil confundirse. También sé de personas que han recibido multas costosas solo por no saber
We're
que sus
actually past
permisos.
our time, so if the translator would like to translate that portion.
Yes, this
and
is the
that will
interpreter
put us
speaking.
at time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Corina Torres. And hold on a minute, I'm sorry. Okay. That's Korina Torres, Torres, and I am proud member of Make the Road Nevada. I'm here to support AB 140 because I know people who have lost workdays simply for not actually having their documents up to date. Not because they didn't want to do it or renew them, but because the system assigns different expiration dates to different documents, and it's easy to get very confused. AB 140 actually would help reduce the stress by aligning expiration dates and making the process clearer. Less actually fear, less confusion, and more stability for those who simply want to follow the law. I ask you to please support AB 140. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that's all we'll be able to take in support of Assembly Bill 140. That puts us at about 11 minutes. So we will give 11 minutes to the opposition as well as to the neutral in order to be fair. So with that said, we are going to go to opposition on Assembly Bill 140. You can join us here in Carson City or at the tables in Las Vegas. We'll start in our physical locations, then we'll move to the phones. Keep in mind, we are trying to get all three, so someone may be left waiting, and we can start in Carson City, and you can begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Chair and Committee. My name is Joshua Skaggs, and I'm the Legislative Affairs Director for the Nevada Republican Party here in opposition to AB 140. Our party platform states that we support legal immigration, assimilation, and that we oppose sanctuary jurisdictions. Providing full driver's licenses with reduced documentation is a form of sanctuary. When Nevada first decided to make it easier for non-citizens to get driver's licenses compared to citizens, the argument was that we couldn't stop non-citizens from driving on the roads illegally. So we needed to issue them some kind of card so that the state could track registration and insurance laws that make our roads safer. That argument is false, and the fact shows it to be untrue. Driver's authorization cards are required by law to look exactly like a driver's license, but they don't carry the same penalties. For example, under NRS 485.326, a licensed citizen driver in Nevada can have their registration and driving privilege suspended if they fail to carry insurance, but the same penalty doesn't apply to the driver's authorization cards, which are not defined as a license in NRS. This law is nothing more than an attempt to further erase differences between driver authorization cards and driver's licenses and allow non-citizens to continue to enjoy greater driving privileges than Nevada citizens, but with lower requirements. That makes no sense. If we are requiring less documentation from a driver to get a license, then we need to follow up with that driver more often than we do with citizens who are required to go through the complete process. Please do not continue to prioritize non-citizens over Nevada citizens. Please vote no on AB 140. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Vice Chair and members of the committee. My name is Janine Hansen. I'm the state president of Nevada Families for Freedom. Every session since this was first initiated in 2013, they have expanded the driver's authorization card, making it easier and easier to be an illegal alien in Nevada. This time, they want the renewal time from 4 to 8 years, which will be equal to the requirement for citizens. Is there no benefit for being an American citizen? We continue to be concerned about expanding the driver's authorization card. There are many costs regarding illegal immigration in the United States. In testimony before the U.S. Senate Committee on Budget, Robert Rector from the Heritage Foundation said illegal aliens receive $84 to $94 billion more in government benefits and services than they pay in taxes. In a study 20 years ago by the Federation for American Immigration Reform, they estimated that the annual fiscal burden on Nevada taxpayers associated with illegal immigration to be about $630 million. This equates to an annual cost of about $763. Of course, 20 years later, it's much higher. The cost of illegal immigration to Nevadans and to the United States is very high. And I think it's very important that we realize that every time we make it easier to have a driver's authorization card, we make being an illegal alien easier in Nevada. We oppose this bill. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. And I'd also like to thank everyone who's come out on each side of all of these bills today for taking part in the legislative process. We are going to move to the phone lines. Broadcast, do we have anyone on the phone line who'd like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 140? Keeping in mind, we have 11 minutes total, and so that gives us about 7 more minutes.
If you'd like to testify in opposition, please press *9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon. My name is Lynn Chapman, LYNNCHAPMAN, and I'm the state treasurer of the Independent American Party. Just to let you know, on the opinion poll, the opposition to this bill is 89%. We have people from all around the world coming to our country, and we don't know who they are and what they're up to. But we do have many good people coming here with no ill intent on our people or our country. But we also have gangs, terrorists, and criminals coming here. We don't know who is who, and that's the problem. Giving driver's licenses to people when we don't have any way to know who they are is difficult enough, but now you want to give driver's licenses to anyone and everyone and to extend the time in between expiration dates. They would have all the same privileges as American citizens. American citizens are told to have the real ID by May 7th, which is 2 days from now. There is a lot of documentation that we, as Americans, have to provide to prove who we are. Do illegals have to provide the same documentation? I seriously doubt it. Extending the time between expiration dates is the wrong action to take. We American citizens 65 years of age and older don't even have the privilege of an extended time between expiration dates. We only get 4 years at a time. Discrimination, anyone? Vote no on AB 140. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would note that this is already existing law, and this is a driver authorization card rather than a driver's license. And it's really just talking about the renewals. But we thank everyone for your comments, and we're so happy you're calling in. And with that, broadcast next caller.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. I'm Kimberly Fergus, FER-GUS. I respectfully oppose AB 140. This bill removes the fixed 4-year expiration date for driver authorization cards and gives full control to the DMV to set the term by regulation. That's a serious shift. It hands over a key public policy decision to a state agency with no legislative oversight. Driver authorization cards started out somewhat distinct from standard licenses, but are increasingly becoming almost alike. They were created with specific limitations, and changing the renewal period through regulation risks blurring those lines and weakening accountability. This bill opens the door to inconsistency and confusion for both applicants and law enforcement. Renewal times should remain clear, fixed and controlled by legislature, not fluctuating at the discretion of a state agency. I urge you to vote no on AB 40 unless those safeguards are restored. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Cyrus, Hojjaty. I am opposed to this bill. Good afternoon. Thank you for having this meeting. And I will ditto the comments made by the previous commentators. I will mention, though, there's also the concern of remittances, money being sent abroad. That's another impact we got to understand. Now, we hear a lot of people talk about that they need transportation. Now, remember, this is a renewal change. So if there's a serious problem, what about getting around through rideshare? What about biking, walking, taking mass transit? We could improve mass transit instead. I'm right now driving my taxi as my job. I could help out. So there's many different ways to get around. The heart of the issue is we believe that this will increase the incentive for people to not follow federal immigration law. So we urge you to vote no. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Katrina, IVANO Frank. I strongly urge you to oppose this bill. Once again, I find myself talking about bills that do not help Nevada citizens, but they help other people other than citizens of Nevada. It is mind-boggling to me how many times the people that are supposed to make the laws and hopefully follow the law mentioned that those people were going, the illegal aliens that are getting the driver's permit were going to work. As far as I know, they're not allowed to work in United States. They don't have work authorization. They are, and they keep saying we're not criminals. You are. For all intents and purposes, You broke the law. Your first step on our soil was to break the law. So yeah, you're not violent criminals, but for all intents and purposes, you are criminals. You didn't even bother to learn English. So I don't think we should be making it easy on people that don't respect our country enough to learn the language to talk. And you can hear my accent, it's a heavy accent. I come from Europe. I learned English before coming to this country out of respect. And I was only coming on working visa and then switched to other things. But still, it is very sad for me to hear that the people that's supposed to make the laws for Nevadans and protect Nevadans are not doing so. They're trying to use Nevadans and taxpayers and law-abiding citizens to provide security for people that are not Nevadans or Americans for that matter. I'm very saddened. We have so many problems in Nevada. The legislature should be concentrated on helping Nevada
Ms. Ivanov,
citizens.
thank you
We
so
voted
much.
you.
We're
Yes.
about 2.5 minutes of your 2 minutes, but we thank you so much for your comments today.
Okay.
And we wish you a wonderful afternoon. And we've got more bill hearings. There's more opportunities to call back. We thank you again. And that also, I believe, is 11 minutes, correct? Okay, that's also 11 minutes. So we'll now take testimony in neutral. We have 11 minutes for that as well. And Mr. Sever, I don't know if it's going to take you 11 minutes. And I don't know if anyone else is coming, but welcome.
Thank you, Vice Chair, committee members. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We are neutral on AB 140, and maybe for the first time in history, the DMV has submitted a positive fiscal impact in our fiscal note. And it's actually just a result of the timing on which DACs are due for renewal. The DMV will see a spike in revenue with people renewing the first 4 years, and then a drop when people don't have to come back until the 8th year. We're also willing to absorb the programming costs, which is a pretty minimal impact. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. A positive fiscal impact, huh? I wish our chair was here to hear that. Thank you so much. I don't see anyone else in our physical locations who'd like to testify in neutral. Do we have anyone on the phone's broadcast who'd like to testify for us in neutral? And thank you again.
If you'd like to testify in neutral, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Caller with the last 3 digits, 760, please press star 6 to unmute yourself. Once again, caller with the last 3 digits, 760, please press star 6 to unmute yourself, and you may proceed. Caller, you are unmuted and you may proceed.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Perrine, CYNTHIAPERINE. I'd like to express my opposition to AB 140 in that we're giving more privilege, equal privilege to
Ms.
people who
Perina, we're
are
actually in
non-citizens or
testimony in
displaced
neutral
persons.
right now, and we took our 11 minutes of testimony in opposition, but I would invite you to look at the meeting agenda and to send your comments, because we'd love to see them, to sengri@sen.state.nv.us. And we thank you so much for your comments. And again, we did close out our testimony in opposition, but please send your comments so that the committee has an opportunity to see all of them, and thank you. Also, Mr. Sever, I believe that Senator Doñate had a question for you if you'd like to come back up. And with that, I'm also going to hand it back over to our chair.
Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you so much, Chair. I just wanted to clarify, because obviously there's a lot of misinformation today, and I want to be sure that whatever is on the legislative record is accurate. There was a discussion as to whether or not individuals who have driver authorization cards do not have the same standards in terms of insurance requirements. That's not the case from my understanding. They still have to provide a proof of insurance before they get the driver's tests, the same way that a U.S. citizen would. So could you make sure that we clarify for the record that they still have the same requirements as if it was a driver's license? There's just a difference in terms of federal recognition as to what these are.
Yeah, Sean Sever from the DMV, that is correct. DACs are basically just for people that don't have the necessary documents to get a standard or real ID. But yeah, same requirements.
And I think we are done with all neutral. Do you have any closing statements?
Thank you so much, Senator. I actually didn't have any, but the opposition, I feel compelled to say this. So I just want to be clear about driver's authorization cards, of what it actually does and what it doesn't. This policy does not grant legal status. It does not give undocumented immigrants the same rights or privileges that American citizens have. They can't vote. They aren't eligible for most public benefits. What it does do is it allows people who are already here, who are already part of our communities, to take a driving test, register a car, buy insurance just like anyone else on the road. And at the bottom of this, it's keeping our community safer. Opponents say that it makes it easier for undocumented immigrants, but the truth is life is not easy as an undocumented immigrant. A driver's authorization card is about safety. It is about accountability. It is not about privilege. It does not say that we are saying people can come here and break the rules. So a piece of misinformation is that being present in the US without proper documentation is not a criminal offense under federal law. It is a civil one that can lead to deportation, yes, but it is not a crime. So when critics use language like illegal or criminal, they are not only wrong, they are continuing the fueling fear and stereotypes and criminalizing our communities. So let's name it for what it is. It's not about policy, it's about fear. It's about race, and it's about the refusal to see immigrant families as members of our community. Nevadans can do better than that. We can pass laws that are rooted in facts and not fear. We can pass laws rooted in safety, not stigma. And we can pass laws rooted in dignity, not division. So I just want to say driver's authorization cards aren't about rewarding people for breaking the law. It is about making our state safer. Thank you.
Thank you. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 140. I will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 439 right now, keeping everyone on their toes. You can go ahead and go up to the table and begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Chair Nguyen, Vice Chair Pazina, and committee members. Thank you all for everything you do in this committee. My name is Lisa Cole. I am the assembly person for District 4. My name is spelled Lisacole. I'm going to make this very brief for everyone. This is essentially a follow-up bill to a bill from the 2023 session, SB 11, which approved the use of drones for various purposes and also included a limitation on sourcing by those agencies that align generally with Department of Defense requirements. This bill is meant to address a disconnect that will allow well-intentioned limitations on sourcing to stand, but adding the needed discretion to ensure our agencies are equipped with the best available technology and still maintains national security standards. Proposed change acknowledges the nuance between the country that manufactures the physical housing of the drone and the location of where the information the drone collects is housed. With Chair's permission, I would like to hand it over now to my co-presenters, Madison Campbell and Elliot Mallon will be available for questions if they're needed on the technical side. Thank you.
Hi, esteemed Chair Nguyen and Vice Chair Pazina and honorable members of the committee. I will keep this very short or else the Oscars music will play, I assume. My name is Madison Campbell. I serve on the policy team here at Flock Safety, where we are advancing drone as a first responder technology to support law enforcement, fire departments, and emergency managers across the United States. Thank you for the opportunity to appear before you in order to support AB 439, a bill that passed the Assembly unanimously with strong bipartisan support. When we first introduced this bill in the Assembly, I emphasized that a provision in prior legislation, while it was very well intentioned, has unintentionally created barriers for first responders. These restrictions are preventing agencies, particularly in rural or budget constrained areas, from accessing the most effective and affordable drone technology on the market. Now, as the bill enters the Senate, we've worked with stakeholders to strengthen AB 439 through a series of amendments aimed at addressing concerns around security, transparency, and procurement integrity, and we've distributed this amongst the committee as well. Again, AB 439 is ultimately about leveling the playing field, giving every agency, large and small, the ability to deploy secure, life-saving drone technology. It strengthens public safety, respects privacy, and ensures that we lead the way in responsible, forward-looking policy. Thank you again for your time and thoughtful consideration, and I look forward to answering any questions.
And with that, our presentation is over. So we're ready for questions. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? I know there were quite a few amendments like floating around today, but do we have any questions? I don't see any. Look at that. I should have had you go first. With that, we will have you step back and I will start testimony in support of Assembly Bill 439. Seeing no one here at the table in Carson City and no one in Las Vegas, we can go to the phone lines to have our testimony in support of AB 439.
Testify in support on AB 439. Please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in support at this time.
We will go to testimony in opposition while I have you on the phones.
If you'd like to testify in opposition, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in opposition.
Sorry, if we have any opposition testimony in the room. I don't see anyone here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. So next I will move to neutral testimony. Is there anyone to testify in neutral? Seeing no one here in Carson City or Las Vegas, if we can go to the phone lines for any neutral testimony.
If you'd like to testify in neutral, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in neutral at this time.
And with that, do you have any? No, we're waving off closing. So at this time, I will close testimony in neutral and I will close the bill hearing on Assembly Bill 439. And now I'm just going to go back to order and I will start with Assembly Bill 20 and open the hearing on Assembly Bill 20. Go ahead and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. Sean Sever from the DMV. And you missed my testimony. We had a positive impact fiscal note. So, but thank you for letting us present AB 20 to you today. This is a DMV cleanup bill that does two things. It would revise provisions passed in SB 362 from last session to clarify that the DMV can continue to print medical codes on the back of driver's licenses and IDs to go along with the new medical symbol on the front. When the bill was codified, LCB notified us that we could no longer print the codes on the back. We believe the intent of SB 362 was to allow drivers to notify emergency responders on their medical conditions. Without the code on the back, responders would know a person has a medical condition from the symbol on the front, but wouldn't know what the condition is without the code. We think the symbol and the code work together. There was some concern over this bill on the Assembly side, and I think people misunderstood the intention. This is, number one, this is not something new. The DMV has been doing this since 2003. Number two, that adding the code is the option of the customer. It's your choice whether you want to share this information with the DMV or not. And then number three, we don't print the medical conditions on the cards. It is just a small number that responders can look up, and the average person would have no idea what it means. The other part of this bill would give the DMV mailing flexibility when we send out insurance notices, so we don't have to use the U.S. Postal Service. We'd like the flexibility to use UPS or FedEx, who don't offer certified mail, but do have similar delivery notification and signature requirements. So we appreciate you considering our request, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you for that clarifying information. Do we have any questions from committee members?
Just a comment.
Go ahead, Senator Hansen.
I think it's kind of ironic that the DMV is criticizing the snail mail government program and going to FedEx or UPS. All right? I mean, anyway, you know. So Sean and I was teasing him about it. Say, DMV and snail mail, I mean, so I thought you'd be more supportive of the United States Postal Service, Sean. Anyway, that's my comment. Thanks, Madam Chair.
It sounds like it gives them flexibility to use all the different private and public. Seeing no other questions, we'll go ahead and begin testimony in support. If you are here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 20, please come up to the table and begin when you're ready.
Good evening, Chair Wynn and members of the committee. I'm Alex Kaneda with the firm Womble Bond on behalf of the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, and we are in support of AB 20. We want to thank Mr. Sever for working with us and accepting an amendment to this bill that essentially says autonomous vehicles have an indicator inside of them that goes off when the automated system is operating the vehicle. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon, or evening, I guess, Madam Chair. So as to get out of here alive and hopefully remain in the committee's good graces. Supported the bill on the other side. Good bill, we support it. Thanks.
Thank you. And I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines for testimony in support of AB 20.
If you'd like to testify in support on AB 20, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers at this time.
Since we're on the phone lines, if we can go to testimony in opposition of AB 20.
Testify in opposition, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Hello, this is Cynthia Perrine. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. CYNTHIAPERINE. I oppose this bill in that it is an invasion of privacy, even though it disclosing our health conditions on the driver's license is by code. Still, the insurance company and the DMV and other government agencies would be well aware that there is an impairment. This is an invasion of privacy, which I cannot support. Thank you.
Chair, there are no more callers at this time.
Thank you. And if we can go, I don't know if I did it in person. Is there anyone to testify in opposition here in person, either in Carson City or in Las Vegas? Seeing no one, I will now move into neutral testimony. Is there anyone to testify in neutral? I don't see anyone here or in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines for anyone to testify in neutral on Assembly Bill 20.
To testify in neutral, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue.
Hi, this is Katrina Ivanov, IVANO Frank. I just wanted to say that Senator Hansen is my spirit animal because he's been asking the questions that I would have asked if I'm there. I'll probably have many more questions, but the questions and the comments are pretty much what I'm thinking. So thank you, Senator, for speaking. And thank you for everybody to try to do your job.
Chair, there are no more callers in neutral at this time.
Do you have any closing statements to make? Go ahead.
Sean Sever, DMV, thanks for hearing the bill today. Did forget to mention the friendly amendment that was talked about in the support testimony. So we are okay with that amendment on autonomous vehicle lighting. And to answer the question, as I mentioned before, this is not something new that the DMV is doing. We've been doing it for 20 years, and it's also the customer's option. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. With that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 20, and I will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 70 and invite Mr. Guthrow from the Nevada Association of Counties to begin when you're ready.
Great, thank you, Chair. Good evening. My name is Vincent Guthrow. Happy to represent Nevada Association of Counties. I'm the Executive Director of that association. We represent all 17 counties. Members of the Senate Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, thank you for the opportunity to present AB 70 in its first reprint. This bill in its first reprint represents a lot of compromise and a lot of work that was done for an agreement between local entities and renewable energy developers. In a nutshell, AB 70 will allow local governments to recover the cost review and analysis of renewable energy applications that are triggered under NEPA or the National Environmental Policy Act and provide stability for renewable energy developers. This legislation represents an attempt at addressing both sort of the input side and the impact side for our members. Admittedly, it doesn't capture every project, but the legislation works in good faith to cover both of these cornerstones. I will just walk through what I think, in the interest of time, I'll just walk through some of what I consider some of the highlights of the legislation. So if we start in its first reprint under Section 1, Subsection 1, this is the section of the bill that applies the cost recovery language to the applicable NRS up to $50,000 of actual costs for the county's expenses in compliance with NEPA and to review those applications. Additionally, this is where this section addresses what we consider the language that avoids preemption. So there might be conversations or agreements or discussions or coordinations that is already happening at the local level. For instance, if a county had an ordinance on hand already or negotiated an agreement outside of the mechanism in AB 70, then this cost recovery mechanism isn't meant to override those previously agreed upon discussions. One other highlight is in subsection 2. This allows a developer to seek proof of actual costs before the reimbursement, and in subsection 3, there is an allowance for prepayment of the cost recovery, and the subsection does allow for a refund mechanism if the prepayment for some reason exceeded the actual costs of the review. There's some conforming language. And then the other piece in section 2.5, subsection 3, outside, again, the intent is not to preempt anything that's happening at the local entity or at the local level, but this would prohibit a local entity from creating and moving or denying a special use permit that had already been drafted or issued for a project. It also, saying in that subsection, just one other highlight, we want to make sure that it's understood that the special use permit process would have already happened, and that there wouldn't be any changing it after the cost recovery mechanism we utilized. I think those are the highlights of the bill. I'm happy to go through others, but I'm also happy to stand for questions in the interest of time. I think it's pretty straightforward, but happy to take any questions if you have any.
I think we'll move to questions. Do we have any questions from committee? I didn't have any questions that you didn't answer previously, so I appreciate you providing us information prior to this. But with that, we will just move to testimony and support. If you are here to testify in support, I'd ask you to come up to the table and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair Nguyen, and members of the committee for this opportunity to speak on AB 70. My name is Jaina Moan, Jaina Moan, and I'm the Nevada External Affairs Director for the Nature Conservancy. AB 70 provides a mechanism by which counties can recuperate costs for administering requirements for NEPA compliance for renewable energy facilities. For several years, the Nature Conservancy has co-led a Smart from the Start renewable energy and transmission consortium across our state. With this, we've routinely engaged with agencies and stakeholders in decisions around renewable energy and transmission development that are taking place in our state across rural, urban, and tribal communities. TNC supports AB 70 because it provides an opportunity for the counties to have a greater engagement in the process of permitting renewable energy facilities on federal lands. Thank you so much for hearing our comment.
Thank you. I don't see anyone else coming up to the table in support, and I don't see anyone at the table in Las Vegas. We can go to the phone line for those in testimony in support of AB 70.
If you'd like to testify in support on AB 70, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in support.
Thank you. And while we're on the phone lines, if we can go to testimony in opposition to AB 70.
If you'd like to testify in opposition, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in opposition at this time.
Thank you. If we can go here in person, is there anyone to testify in opposition to AB 70, either in Las Vegas or here in Carson City? I don't see anyone running to the table. So I will move to neutral testimony. If there's anyone here to testify in neutral, please come up to the table and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Kyle Davis. Today, on behalf of the Interwest Energy Alliance, we want to thank the Nevada Association of Counties for working with us on this bill. The initial draft of the bill and some iterations over on the Assembly side, we did have some concerns, but we appreciate Mr. Guthrow reaching out to us early on this. We were talking about this bill back in the fall, and I think where we arrived on it is a good compromise that will allow for the counties to get the funding that they need to participate in these processes while still allowing for these projects to move forward. So want to thank him for his work on this, and we're here, I guess, in neutral. Thank you.
Chair and members of the committee, Jessica Ferrato, here to Ferrato, here today on behalf of the Solar Energy Industries Association, also in neutral on the bill. I'd like to echo my comments that Mr. Davis already made. He said it perfectly. I'd like to thank NACO for all their work on this bill. We have been talking about it for many months. And we did have some opposition in the Assembly, but our opposition has been removed, and appreciate all the work that's been put into the bill. Thank you for your time.
I don't see anyone in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines for neutral testimony.
If you'd like to testify in neutral, please press star 9 on your phone to take your place in the queue. Chair, there are no callers in neutral at this time.
Thank you. Any closing statements? I'm waiving it. So at this time, I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 70, and we will move to our last agenda item, which is public comment. If you were here to testify in public comment, I'd ask you to come up to the table. I don't see anyone rushing the table for public comment here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. If we can go to the phone lines for public comment, that would be great.
If you'd like to participate in public comment, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Hi, my name is Katrina Ivanov, Ivanov, Frank, long time no here, no speak actually. I just wanted to encourage the lawmakers of Nevada to start making laws that protect Nevadans and that help make Nevadans' life easier. Many of the laws that I've been listening to are protecting everybody else but Nevadans. Would love to see you putting Nevadans first. We're the one that voted you there. You're supposed to represent us. And I don't feel like a lot of you are representing as the majority. And only because a Republican governor signed the bill doesn't make it any better. Sandoval signed the bill for the biggest taxes in Nevada. Ever since then, Republicans can't seem to win an election. So I don't know if he was not a closeted Democrat or something. So I don't care if Republican or Democrat is presenting the bill. I care what the bill does for Nevadans. If it's good for Nevadans, I support the bill. If it's not, I don't. I don't like these partisan games. Oh, Sandoval signed it, so no, it's not a good bill. And any tax bill is not a good bill either. And the DMV guy said, we had a good revenue because they have to renew every 4 months, but now we want to do it every 4 years, and now every 8 years, we're going to lose on revenue. How does that make sense? We take more taxes from us. Thank you, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you. Do we have any
Chair,
other?
the public line is open and working. However, there are no callers at this time.
Wonderful. At this time, I will close public comment, and We are adjourned until Wednesday. See you guys all then.